How big is your to-be-read pile? Mine is massive. It's taller than I am. It includes stuff like this romance novel that my mother-in-law gave me, and she says it's really good, and the bride looks really good on it, and I'm excited to get into it. And I've got this mystery novel set in Paris, and this really terrific novel. I think it's a middle grade novel, and it's a historical novel called Ghost Hawk by Susan Cooper. What else have I got here? I've got Gish Jen's Tiger Writing, which is a series of essays, lectures that she gave on writing. I love her. And I've got, of course, Alan Bradley's latest Flavia de Luce mystery, which I just adore, and I can't wait to get into it. See my nerd's wife uh, bookmark. Hey, nerd's wife, there you are. So I've got lots of stuff, and that doesn't even include what's on my Kindle, which is just again sort of super loaded, including The Last Banquet by Jonathan Grimwood, his fellow Europa writer, and Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. And so I am just loaded. And so of course the dumbest thing I could do is go to Barnes and Noble this past weekend because it's springtime and everyone who has a book obsession problem should probably avoid the next few months in Barnes & Noble because all the great big new books are coming out, including Susan Minot's new novel, which I'm dying to read, and Alice Hoffman's The Museum of Extraordinary Things, which is a terrific cover. Um, and so I restrained myself. I did not buy these books. But what I am going to do is I am going to buy The Museum of Extraordinary Things. I'm going to buy it for one of you out there. And so I wanted to show you that awesome cover, if I could. Isn't that neat? So I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to give it away. I'm going to give it away. And so that will feed my jonesing for book buying. And it's also going to give one lucky winner the chance to read that book. I want to give it away in conjunction with a signed copy of A Falling Star, which is my new book out of Carolina Wren Press. Why pair these two books together? Well, the Museum of Extraordinary Things is about a museum, and I am just an aficionado of museums. I love them. I love the small ones and the massive ones. And I'll be going to Chicago this summer to visit the Field Museum, which I'm super stoked about. And a museum sort of features briefly in this novel. So what I thought I might do is share a section of the book with you, just a paragraph, and then tell you what to do, how to win the book. Okay, so in the book we've got one of the protagonists. There's sort of two protagonists. They're both young girls, and one of them is Stella, and she's lost her mother. Her mother's name is Anita, and she's since passed. And so she goes to the Natural History Museum in Pittsburgh, the Carnegie, which is just such a terrific, terrific space. And amazing dinosaur exhibits, and a really terrific Egyptian exhibit, which was my favorite in the museum. What's cool about it, and especially if you have a kid and you can take them to this museum, is there's a tunnel that you have to crawl through to get into this tomb. And so Stella in the novel goes to this part of the museum, and it was her favorite and her mother's favorite. And so she sort of muses about her mother and her loss, and she's brought with her some research she's done. She's trying to figure out about her past, right? She was born in Cuba, but she lives now in Pittsburgh, and she wants to know more about where she comes from. So here is the passage. Stella walked a bit until she found the Hall of Ancient Egypt. It was the exhibit in which her mother had always lingered longest. Toward the back, encased and yet visible, like Snow White in her glass coffin, was the mummy of someone small and unidentified. The wrappings had browned and thinned, suggesting the shape of the bones underneath. Stella did not visit with the mummy the way Anita had, always leaning over the case and whispering to the dusty body, her breath fogging the glass. Instead, Stella found the small square doorway that led to a recreated tomb one could reach only by crawling through a tunnel. It was colorful with hieroglyphics, and there was a replicated sarcophagus in the center. In the dim light, Stella spread the photocopies atop the ornate coffin and tried to read them, but it was no use. She couldn't concentrate in this place so full of her mother. Touching the colorful walls as if she could read them, Stella recalled her mother's descriptions of Egyptian funeral rites, how in the afterlife a person's heart was weighed against a feather. If the life had been a good one, then the scales balanced, heart and plume alike, and so the person moved on to paradise. Stella wondered whether her mother's heart weighed the same as a feather. Stella tightened the denim jacket around her body at the thought. Gathering her papers, she took one last look at the mock tomb, then crawled out. So it's just a little moment of what Stella's going through. She's going through a lot, poor kid. I love her a lot. And so here's what we're going to do. Here's how you win an autographed copy of A Falling Star and a copy of The Museum of Extraordinary Things by Alice Hoffman. I promise not to crack the spine. It'll be brand new when you get it, and that's going to be hard for me to do, I promise you. Here's what you do. You're going to tweet about your favorite museum or your favorite museum exhibit. So I really love the Rosetta Stone at the British Museum. Too bad there are so many crowds, I can never get to it. Hashtag A Falling Star. The hashtag's important because that's how we are going to be able to find out who entered the contest. And I just used the royal we there for no reason. I will be the one who will be finding out who won the contest. And so we're going to do this for a week. So this time next week, I'll pick a winner. Everyone who did the hashtag A Falling Star and told me about their favorite museum. I'd love to go visit them all, maybe. Maybe. If I sell enough copies, maybe that's possible. So you're going to win a copy of the Museum of Extraordinary Things and an autographed copy of A Falling Star. So don't forget the hashtag, and thank you very much for watching.